The difference between Dems and Republicans come down to one thing. They apply moral value to political preference. And that would make sense if your political party praised Hitler or protected murderers and sex fiends. But the mistake is it's not the Republicans. But they've always compared Republicans to some kind of existential threat. They've done it with climate change. They've done it with compassion. They do it with Trump. That allows them to label us as amoral. But we know, and Harold would agree, Republicans are not evil. We have a different path to the pursuit of happiness and serenity in people's lives, safety and security. I don't care that you hate Trump. Why should you care that I like him? The answer would be because he's evil. He's like a Nazi. Well, this is where the whole thing falls apart. What does that mean to me if I'm your Republican friend who voted for Trump? That you would believe I would support a Nazi? We've been friends for years. I've been through this. If you're my friend, you have to realize that's illogical, because how were we friends for 10 or 20 years and now you found out I was a fascist? How did that happen? Right. You knew I was a right-winger in the 80s, in the 90s, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't be seen with him. So the key moment of in the self-realization of a liberal should be, if your dad loves Trump and you love your dad, shouldn't you maybe question whether your dad doesn't love a Hitler figure, and therefore maybe Trump is not a Hitler figure? And that flaw in your thinking should put into question the reliability on your filter on your life, that this thing is not working. It's not translating. If I love my dad and my dad voted for Trump, but I think Trump is Hitler, there's something wrong with my logic. Your dad is not a Nazi lover. This is why they break off relationships, because when they run into those people that they like and they love, it calls into question that filter.
On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. I have an amazing show today. This has little to do with it, but I thought it was a great place to start because it is one of the key differences between all of us. One of the big things that jumped out at me today, by the way, so we're going to kind of paint a little bit of flavor into this show right off the bat. But I feel like, based off of everything that's happening right now, and trying to maybe explain the deep state a little bit for a second, the way Trump is handling Iran is the way Trump is handling the deep state. There is no guarantees. We've got news of Iran doing some nefarious things against us. Are we okay? Are we okay? Well, we'll get there. You might have heard mostly okay. We'll get there. But the way he's handling this, knowing that they still have the ability to do harm. But sometimes you've kind of got to put yourself in harm's way and see how strong the opposition is. And I think this is a big part of what we're all seeing right now with the overarching deep state takedown. How much power do they still wield? Can they still control the weather? Can they still initiate viruses into the world? Antivirus right now is a big discussion. Can they cause other wars? Can they cause, any terrorizing type events? Can they destroy cities? Can they slash and burn? What are they willing to do? Probably anything. And what can they do? That's greatly diminished. We are in a war, and for everybody that's like, why doesn't he do X and Y, Z faster? Because they still have power in a lot of ways. And we're still fighting in the courts, especially, just the easiest example, but Congress. We're seeing a lot going on. We're seeing a lot of change. We're seeing a lot of people blocking. We're seeing who's who. We've got Tim Burchett. I got some amazing, or Burchett, whatever. I got some amazing stuff going on with him. You guys are going to dig that. He was on Joe Rogan, and I got 4 bitchin' clips. That's pretty huge. And they're kind of varying things, but they really do paint the deep state picture, which is why the kind of monologue to start with. Major war stuff going on with Iran, and then Woot, because folks, a whole lot of UFO stuff did come out. We're going to cover a bunch of it. I kind of dredged up some of it, and we'll see what you guys think. Nothing huge jumps out. Couple pretty cool things, though. Certainly didn't see the underwater thing that we were all hoping to see. I haven't seen that yet. I don't know if that's going to pop up in some near-term future or what. But this aircraft carrier-sized thing underwater traveling at over 200 knots, not saying I don't believe that's possible. I totally do. That evidence is not around, it seems. Today is Venereal Disease Day, and I just wanted to say happy Venereal Disease Victory Day? Oh, okay, sure. Sorry. Victory Day. Happy Victory Day. Yes, it is. I've got a cool little video I put together for this, and no, I knew it was Victory Day. There's nobody there. Even inside my own head, sometimes I wonder. Check it out. But Trump had a cool thing to say. I want to do the video first, and I hopefully you guys like it. I kind of threw it together. Nothing. I didn't do all this. I kind of grabbed some stuff, borrowed some stuff. You know, it's like a wedding, right? Something new, something borrowed. Anyway, it's all those things. But it's like, a couple minutes, you guys, or 3 minutes. You guys, I think, hopefully enjoy it. Check it out. I pray we can get to the point where we no longer have to continue to fight these wars. And I think Trump has been a big part of trying to be the biggest peace president ever. This was put out by President of the United States of America, a proclamation. This was put out by Trump. As we celebrate Victory Day for World War II, we celebrate America's monumental triumph over tyranny and evil in Europe, led by the might of our armed forces and those of our allies. On May 8th, 1945, the iron grip of Nazi Germany shattered, and news of victory swept across the great nation and the world, marking a decisive turning point in the history of freedom. From the legendary storming of the beaches of Normandy to the frigid, hard-fought defense during the Battle of the Bulge, the courage of countless American soldiers carried the Allied cause across the deserts of North Africa and the forests of Western Europe, until the forces of the Nazi regime collapsed in ruin. Their sacrifice, together with the unwavering resolve of millions of men and women on the home front, drove tyranny to its knees and paved the way for the Allied powers to secure their resounding victory against Imperial Japan nearly 4 months later. The fight for liberty came at the staggering costs. More than 250,000 Americans laid down their lives in the fight against the Nazi regime. Their heroic sacrifice reminds us that the sacred freedoms we cherish are forged in sacrifice and must be fiercely defended both at home and abroad. Let us remember them and the millions of innocent souls who endured horrendous atrocities and lost their lives at the hands of National Socialism. As we celebrate 250 years of American independence, we carry their legacy forward by ensuring our armed forces remain the most dominant in the world, ready to safeguard our sovereignty, to confront any threat, and preserve the flame of liberty they fought so valiantly to defend. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim May 8th, 2026, as a day in celebration of Victory Day for World War II. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 7th day of May, in the year of our Lord 2026, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 250th. It's kind of cool that the wording's in there. And you guys are really lucky I didn't play the venereal disease video. It was queued up. I was ready to go with it, but the other people that don't exist wouldn't let me. So whatever, doesn't matter. Donald Trump, check this out. 3 world-class American destroyers just transited very successfully out of the Strait of Hormuz under fire. There was no damage done to 3 destroyers, but great damage done to the Iranian attackers. They were completely destroyed, along with numerous small boats, which are being used to take the place of their fully decapitated navy. These boats went to the bottom of the sea quickly and efficiently. And they're obviously not Boston whalers then, because you can cut those things in half and they still float. Anyway, missiles were shot at our destroyers and were easily knocked down. Likewise, drones came and were incinerated while in the air. They dropped ever so beautifully down to the ocean, very much like a butterfly dropping to its grave. What a weird analogy, sir, by the way. I love you, Trump. Really? You're going to smoke a butterfly in this? Butterflies are beautiful. I've never, ever, ever been bit by a butterfly. Ever. If one lands on me, I'm like, oh my God, a butterfly landed on me. That's the coolest thing ever. But, I digress. I love you, Trump. It's okay. I'm just going to, call a spade on this one. I don't know if that's some, literary thing. Maybe I should look it up and see if there's some famous poem or some shit that's part of. Anyway, a normal country would have allowed these destroyers to pass, but Iran is not a normal country. They are led by lunatics, and if they had the chance to use nuclear weapons, they would do it without question. But they'll never have that opportunity, and just like we knocked them out again today, we'll knock them out a lot harder and a lot more violently in the future if they don't get their deal signed fast. Our 3 destroyers with their wonderful crews will now rejoin our naval blockade, which is truly a wall of steel. President Donald J. Trump. So, he did post this as well. Lasers, bing, bing, gone. Lasers. 2 of the destroyers that were in there, he talked about 2 of them had been retrofitted recently, upgraded. One of them is brand spanking new, so it wasn't upgraded or retrograded. So my guess is this was literally the 3 most sophisticated, at least anti-drone wise, destroyers in our entire fleet. That is my guess. And this was a test of the emergency broadcast system. I'm not really saying it's an EDS test, but kind of. This was a test to see if this technology worked. And it sounds like no damage was done to our craft, though Iran says it was successful on their side. They say that all the time. And then Axios is probably going to put out some sort of story that says a destroyer was sunk. But apparently Trump's like, yeah, no, bing, bing, gone. Bottom of the sea, just like a butterfly. Because, right? Fly like a butterfly, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He never said... float like a bee, sting like a butterfly. No. Whatever. It's It's okay. Donald Trump was asked if we're still at a ceasefire.
After these strikes, is the ceasefire with Iran still on?
Yeah, it is. It's they trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle. I'll let you know when there's no ceasefire. You won't have to know. If there's no ceasefire, you're not going to have to know. You're just going to have to look at one big glow coming out of Iran. And they better sign their agreement fast.
Is that mushroom-like thing that they'll sometimes like shave onto your food right at the table? Trifle, not truffle. All these fancy people with their super words. Smarty pants Trump. I love it. Proud of you, buddy. I got to tell you guys, twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. I wanted to cover a couple groups here. Collections. They got collections. I sometimes just grab parts of this. This is the most amazing website. Like, they've got, I don't know, they probably got hundreds of things. I can't quite figure it out. They got so many products, and they're amazing. So you kind of got to come at it from like, what are you trying to do in your life? What are you open to, possibility-wise? Because they've got goals, they've got collections, they've got emergency kits. So we're going to do two things on the collections. We're going to do, one, the emergency kits. We're going to start there, and then we'll go to the Revive series. They've just, I tripped out on one. They've got like this crazy rugged kit. I'm not saying, what the hell, let's open it up. I'm just wondering what's in there. I've never looked at it before. It's rugged. It's for, like, treats over 60 illnesses. The Ultimate Survivor Kit. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's pretty crazy, right? Did you get a monster truck with it? That is fantastic. So strep throat, allergic reactions. So this is like, if you're in the woods, herpes simplex, you know what I mean? When you have sex with a, forest animal and you get friggin' venereal disease, it's still not VDDA? Are you sure? Anyway. Yeah, they got that. I actually think ivermectin works surprisingly well on those types of things, just saying. Malaria, prophylaxis treatment, muscle spasms, right? You ever been out in the, right? You're out in the middle of the woods, you don't know what to do? Anyway, I feel like this is one of those things, diarrhea, skin soft tissue infections, shingles. Urinary tract infection is a huge one. I joke because I don't know how to be serious. I literally don't. It hurts me to do. Those are cool numbers. $11.99.99. How cool is that? Anywho, this thing's like for like anything crazy. That said, I'm not trying to necessarily sell it because it's the contagion kit's the one I talk about all the time. That's your ivermectin. That's your antiviral. Let's put it that way. There's 3 antivirals and their HCQ is part of it, and there's another one, and I'm drawing a blank on it. You've got the upper respiratory, the asthma medication. So they've got the little vials and the breathing thingy. They got all that together, all right, in there. And then they've also got the azithromycin, which is, they call it the Z-Pack, but it is a antibiotic for upper respiratory specifically. This is a lifesaver. If you're someone that worries at all about a virus coming through, hantavirus. Ooh, is it a virus? It's not a virus. Ivermectin won't work on it. It's not a virus. Hantavirus isn't a virus? Don't ask me that again. Contagion kit. Medical kit's got all sorts of like amoxicillin and crap like that. That's a really, really good one. You're worried about infections of any kinds? Right there, baby. Again, they've got amazing kits. Now, I don't want to beat this up, but we do have the Revive series, and I started down this, and I was like, we have some cool products. All right? Built for mental performance. H2 Focus. That's pretty cheap, too. Tadalafil gum with vardenafil. I got to look this up. I know what Tadalafil is, but I am curious about the other one. Dual action performance support. Okay, I'm wondering what the other action is. That sounds awesome. Chew away the cravings. So the terzepatide, I think this is people that are maybe trying to get over drinking cravings or smoking cravings. One of those. When you're in any of those categories, you probably want to check out this product. They've also got another version of it. Essentially, this is weight loss too. Oh, that's what the cravings are. Food. Okay, my bad. Sorry. But this is, weight loss. So they got a couple different ways you can go about that. That's fantastic. And then I kept going. I'm like, all right, opioid pain. We've talked about that one. That's a really good one. Anybody that's on opioid pain killers trying to get off or trying to wean yourself, or maybe you're sort of off them, but you're like not liking it too much. So they got a neuro support, immune support. They've got this longevity. So they got all these cool. But then it ended up with the ivermectin, mebendazole, parasite cleanse. Love this thing. It's one of my all-time favorites. Almost empty. Really bummed. I got to get another one. They got ivermectin just by itself. And they've got the ivermectin skin cream, which is being used, and they're seeing a lot of results on that. I would say moles. I would say skin cancers. People are seeing some interesting results. Might be something worth checking into. They've got the cream in a 3-pack. If you're like, oh, this stuff works, then yeah, let's save some money, right? Instead of $200, you can get 3 of them for $4.49. That's a pretty sweet deal if you know you're going to keep using it, right? It's awesome. Regenerate natural tissue recovery. I think this actually helps with some of the arthritis and stuff too, but it helps certainly with your workout and stuff like that, or if you're pushing it hard and you're getting wounds, if you will. This actually helps with that. I think it's similar to Stem Active's stem cells, kind of. I think it helps your body kind of kick into that extra mode. All said, plastic detox. They got so many cool things. Just go to twc.health/OTF. You'll notice I only covered 2 things on this menu. Members, they're saving up to 15%, by the way, on everything. So if you do the membership, One Wellness Select member, I think it was wellness. Yeah, members save 15% on all products right here. 15% on all products. So whatever those numbers are I just gave you, that's not member numbers. So again, for like $9.99 a month or something, I don't know. The membership's not very expensive. You can end up saving a bunch of money. Seriously, check it all out. Go to twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Talk to a doctor. They got telemed. They got all that stuff. Actual doctors there too. Anything stuff that's prescriptions, you actually got a prescription, and they're mailing it to you. You're good. It's yours. You've earned it. You can literally show it to a cop, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're solid." twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Healthy. All right, Tim Burchett, we got some awesome stuff. Awesome, as Joe Rogan would say, because he's from Boston. Here is, we'll just kind of burn through these, but here's Tim talking about revealing he caught hell after he explained how politicians get blackmailed. And it, of course, made me think how bad of a politician that would be, because you all know, I don't even have to say it, but who's going to show up? Feng Feng's going to be the first place I'd be like, hey, hi, your name's Feng Feng too? How weird is that? That's so strange. God, you're pretty. Anyways, this is pretty cool. Check it out.
But anyway, so these guys go on these trips, and say you're sitting down at the bar. I mean, you're a good-looking guy. Some girl comes up to you, or some guy, whatever your interest, whatever your proclivities are, and laughing at your jokes. And, you know, next thing you know, you're up in the bedroom naked with them. And then you think, man, I pulled this off. I was with this smoke show, and my wife and kids don't know about it. And I'm just going to, I'm just between me and the Lord. And then, you're getting ready to make a key vote. And a staffer comes up, or a lobbyist or something, you're in the hall and says, hey, Congressman. I said, yeah, man, how's it going? He said, he got this big vote. Yeah, but I'm not for y'all on this one. Okay, we understand. He said, hey, were you in a motel room in Istanbul with a pretty redhead one time? And he goes, oh. And they say, man, I don't want that out. It'll wreck my mind. Well, we don't want it out. We just need your help. And that's how they sink their claws into you. They used to. And they might do that now. But I was on the Benny show, and I was talking about that. Oh, man, I caught it. It was leadership and members. Man, everybody thinks we're sleeping around. I said, I didn't say everybody. I just said some of y'all are. I said, don't. And every day there's a new one getting in trouble, so it's not any big secret. 435 of us. So
you get 435 people. You got to add a few freaks in there.
Oh.
435 group of any human beings.
Yeah,
especially if you can compromise a man with beautiful women, it's not that hard to do.
Or if they're gay and they don't want it out in their public or whatever. So I said this to Benny, and I caught it. And then about a week later, and I said it's probably the Chinese, the Russians, or something. They busted a Chinese prostitution ring. And what did they list as their clientele? Lobbyists, government employees, and politicians.
Of course.
And then what happened the next week? That story went away. And Benny does this thing. He showed me walking out, and I throw a match, and the whatever behind me just bursts into flames, and I'm walking out. It's really cool.
It's very cool. And whoops, we'll do it this way. That's better. But yeah, Benny. Again, he's good. Toxicology report of Thomas Crooks. They're chatting about this now. Again, Tim talks about a bunch of stuff, so I'm kind of lumping a whole lot of subjects together. But he was on one show, and he did like 4 really sweet little snippets that they got of him. Now, again, it is not to be overlooked about how the deep state gets control of people and how many people are likely in control. Now, again, when I was talking about Luna yesterday, I think, and how she was showing the history of all the lawsuits and the money paid out. And it's like, actually wasn't a huge amount of money Like the way they were building it up was like there was hundreds of cases. I felt, anyways. Maybe you guys were different. I don't know, but I felt like there's hundreds of cases are about to break wide open tonight, right? And that did not happen. That's not what she shared. She shared like, I don't know, like 7, 8 people or something like that, and wasn't, I don't know, a couple 100,000 maybe, if that, 150, 100, 200,000. Which again, a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, not cool, but they spanned like 20 years. It's like that's it? Like I expected it to be the Epstein list. But whatever. Anyway, the deep state is still kind of in our government. I think a lot of that's being cleaned up, and we're sort of hearing about aspects of it. Check it out.
Trump's a threat to their machine.
Of course.
I don't ever think we'll ever find the answer to it. I don't think somebody's going to come forward, and maybe in our lifetime they might, but by then everybody will be gone again.
Well, where's the toxicology examination on Thomas Crooks? Let me find out what he was on.
Oh, wait a minute. They cremated him.
Yeah, they cremated him really quickly. Not only that, like, why was his place professionally scrubbed? He didn't even have silverware in his house. He had no computers. He had no social media.
No internet footprint at all. And then they found stuff that led them to believe that maybe he had international accounts, but he didn't have it. Just constant, and it just happens over every course of every time.
Not only that, but they documented metadata that tracked specific phones from the Virginia area out near where the FBI area is to his home multiple times. Why? He's a kid. He's just a young weirdo kid, and someone's visiting him over and over again.
His parents were allegedly counselors, I think, and that makes the whole thing even that much more mysterious.
It's all weird, and we don't have any answers, and no one's asking questions. It's like, bye-bye, went away.
You ask the questions, you're still not going to get the answers.
Right.
We have the answers. This is the MK Ultra stuff. These are assets. American Ninja, America Weapons. What was that one? It was the dude from Zombieland. I've brought it up before. I have a hard time remembering the name of it. It's American Ultra, something like that. Dude, it's a B movie at best. It was epically good, by the way. And from the standpoint of the information it presented, they had a low budget. It talks about this exactly. These people they've been at MK Ultra, but it's not MK Ultra anymore. We're so far past MK Ultra. I don't know what the frick they call it, but that is what happens. They program these people through a number of different things. I think the psychologists are involved, whatever's. I think maybe it's just strictly the meds. The meds might just turn on your brain in just the right way. The little bit of Crowley I've read actually would hint that that's likely possible, where that voice-to-skull technology possibility seems larger than normal. And then you get them on those SSRS or stuff like that, you start to create a whole slew of situations in somebody chemically. And I think that's what a lot of it is. I mean, they were messing with people with LSD back in the day to start with. So they've obviously figured out the drug part of it very well. It's crazy what we are learning, right? Now, again, I caution every one of you guys. Anytime any one of you thinks that know's a strong word, by the way. Think, this is my guess. This is what I'm assuming. This is my theory. That's different. But knowing, I know this is true. How do you know? Well, so-and-so said. How do they know? Well, somebody with credentials told them. Careful. I don't think we know much. I think we know very little. There's a lot. We've got theories. We've got lots of theories. Some of them are really far apart from each other, by the way. That's tricky. That's not good. When two very opposing theories exist, that's not necessarily good. Doesn't mean one of them's likely right and the other one's likely right. In fact, I've found in my life, most of the times, the truth's somewhere in the middle. So be very, very careful. That's all. We got more. 2 more, actually. Rip Tim Burchett, Joe Rogan talk about scientists being disappeared. His point is excellent, so I'm glad he's saying it. Check it out.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of this narrative about the missing scientists and scientists that have turned up dead and been killed.
100%. That's real. I think I have a theory on that. All right, I know it's a little dangerous to throw these things out, but I was on maybe Fox one time, and I just came up with this. I say your family's mobbed up, okay, and y'all own a nice Italian restaurant, and it's world renowned, and you're busting at the seams, you know, and you're franchising and putting out cookbooks and everything. You got this one chef who's the kingpin of all of it, but you're afraid he's talking to your competitors. Now, you don't bump him off. What you do is you rough up a few of the busboys, and that sends a quick dadgum message that you need to shut your mouth. And timing is everything, and nothing happens by accident in Washington, D.C. To me, I think the timing is it's uncanny. You got a president, you know, we've had these hearings in Washington. You have a president that says he's going to release stuff, and all in that same time frame, before and after that, you're having some of these high-ranking officials disappear. And to me, nobody disappears in this country unless they want to disappear. You know, there's cameras everywhere, and it just, to me, it's just it reeks of deep state sewer.
Yeah, I thought one of the things that I thought of is one of the subjects that these people they're all working on different things, but they're working on alternative energy sources.
Yeah, that's the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But that's what ties them together. I
Yeah.
think.
The petroleum industry, hugely. Electric industry. Think about what your electric bill is. Think about your gas bill. Think about your electric bill. Think about how many things have power as a factor into the price. If we had energy that was borderline free, the cost of everything would drop by 80%, literally, at least. Because the hard part is covered. Now it's just intellectual property, time spent like that. Labor, not bad. Built into, you should be able to make hundreds of these per the hour I pay you, right? Or thousands of these or whatever, right? So the labor cost is usually somewhat minimized. And with AI, who knows? It was very well said. I like what he said. I hadn't actually listened to that prior. That was pretty cool. I'd never heard the rough up a busboy metaphor, if you will. And that's actually very apt. Very apt. It's kind of, if you think about what they did to Trump, right? They took down a bunch of his little cronies, if you will, right? And that was supposed to shut Trump up, and Trump's like, yeah, no. And yeah, there you go. Tim Burchett, finally, I know I'm taking forever. Deer in the headlights, where suggests Cole Allen would be Trump assassin, was programmed to do it. I'm just talking about this. I like the fact that they actually get to the point. Probably should have been one slide the other way, but whatever.
You're assuming he was trying to kill the president.
The guy's been programmed to do this. He immediately turns, you know, from one way to the other. Overnight almost, and we're seeing this more and more. I think.
What do you mean the guy's been programmed?
I think these people are.
You mean like MK Ultra type programming?
100%.
Really?
I think so, but it's a different. You know, MK. You're the expert on it.
Not really.
Well,
don't say that.
No, I don't want to get you bumped off
Jamie
here.
knows more than I do about it.
Let somebody else go start your car when you walk out there and wait 30 minutes.
Don't make me an expert.
But yeah, no.
I know nothing.
But you know, the CIA they were grabbing these people up and giving them, I guess, acid or LSD, whatever, and then programming them, and then they said they weren't doing it, and then they got sued, and they said, oh, we lied. We were doing it, but we're not doing it anymore. Now, which time are they not? Here's my thought on this. I think you've got a bunch of people today, because of this, it's just open up your head and pour it in, and they can put these things out to people just enough to where they know that there's going to be a reaction. There's some people, you and I are going to read this stuff and go, you know, and there's some people that are just going to stay awake at night and just fume. I know people that read stuff and they'll call me and text me and say, can you believe this? And I'm like, dude, man, I live this stuff. Cool out. We're good. We're okay. And I think that these folks, they know who they are, and they can target them. You know, how many of these people are we going to find that have no internet access, have no history of being on the internet?
Right,
you know,
like Thomas Crooks.
Yeah, that's just
one's
total
nuts.
BS. Total BS. Oh, we let him on the roof, and you know, and then
also they couldn't get snipers on that roof because the slope was too steep.
Yeah.
And again, the proof of what they said earlier when they talk about how all the records disappeared, the house was totally cleaned. That's 100% deep state. Okay, many would say CIA, whoever it was. 100% deep state. 100% deep state. Unquestionable. These are the MK Ultra people. I mean, again, that term is so 100 years old. That started, I want to say, what, the 50s? MK Ultra, maybe even sooner. That's just some of the records. Like it It's stupid old. They've gotten it through flicker rates. The refresh rates are for a reason. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anyone hypnotized. Not everyone can get hypnotized, by the way, but there's a bunch of people that can. It'll trip you out. They will do things that are like so outside of their character. You'll know someone for 15 years, 20 years, right? And then they'll get hypnotized and you're like, no shit, he would never do that. He would never do that, ever. Oh, it'll blow your mind. It's fantastic. Scary as frick, but so this is the world we're in. Donald Trump put this out. As for my promise to you, the Department of War has released the first tranche of the UFO files. We're going to talk about this later. It's down here. Woo. Because like, yay, but not really a small t. And it's totally woo. Anyway, I thought it was cool. Anyway, in an effort to complete and maximum transparency, it was my honor to direct my administration to identify and provide government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. We've got evidence of really weird shit, period. So really weird shit videos definitely came out. If you guys want to skip ahead, there it is, right? That's the section. I'm not trying to hide it from you. It's just I'm trying to do the game, though. You got to play the game, guys. Come on. Dan Scavino put this out. I don't know what's up with the blue wheel exactly. You guys maybe know better than I do. I'm up. Throw it on my Twitter if you guys don't mind. I'm at OTF with DRS. At OTF with DRS. At OTF with DRS. With's literally spelled out. It's not some sort of W/. That would be crazy cool. So I don't know what's up with the blue circle. Ouch. But it is what it is. And then, of course, we had the thumbnail. I don't know if I've got that open. Maybe I do down here. We might with the Iran section. Virginia's Supreme Court, in fact, did block the Democrats' voter-approved congressional map. It's done. They can't use it for midterms. The state Supreme Courts even. I thought this already got solved. So maybe that was the federal Supreme Court, and then the state Supreme Court's like, all right, whatever. I don't know, but whatever the case was, they agreed and said, no, you can't use it. Nope. And that is where we're at. Newsom has accused MAGA of rigging elections after the Virginia decision. I just thought it was funny as hell. I love it. I missed the Hill, so I wasn't surprised, but I was like, now we're rigging elections. Got you. Okay. So whoever controls the levers of the elections controls power? Is that what you're saying? What if we just gave it to the people? Oh, no, you can't let the people run things. Whatever. These guys suck balls. That's why I say that. DOJ is asking the Supreme Court to actually intervene in the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit, basically saying, look, Trump was acting as an employee of the United States when he made these statements in regards to her. So thusly, I think we should actually be able to take over this. So that's an interesting little thing. And if anything, it's hopefully delaying the payment. We'll see. I'm curious to see what the Supreme Court, all right, we'll do a stay, because once the money's paid out, you ain't ever getting it back, right? $83 million for this. I don't want to call her names, because if I would, it would be a bitch. But I'm not calling her a name, because that would be wrong, and I might get sued, so I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen at all. Pennsylvania Senator Fetterman says in an op-ed that Dems can't simply be the opposite of whatever Trump says. Trump's like, the sky's blue, and they're like, no, it's not, it's red, motherfucker. Like, but it's blue. It's hard. Chinese electric cars apparently skedaddling across the open California border that Gavin Newsom and I'm going to blame Karen Bass, even though she has nothing to do with it. I still feel like throwing her under the bus just for fun. She makes a good speed bump, especially for a bus. Chinese electric cars are driving into California as officials hit the panic button. Uh-oh, no. These aren't legal, and they're really cheap, which is going to destroy the car market. And that's going to be funny because it's going to be California's fault. So this is, and it's going to destroy our car market, which is awesome. So they're not, and they're a security threat. And this, anyway, these things are great. But $20,000 for a car, electric car, that's just going to suck power off the grid that they can't control and get their little tax money on. And things not literal, it's not legal to drive on the roads here at all. This is going to be fun. Can't wait to see what happens. I haven't seen one. I don't even know if Is that what it looks like, I guess? It's one of these. Never seen one. They look so shiny. Anyway, who cares? An election investigation continues. Could Wisconsin be next? There's investigations into Wisconsin, so we are finding out that they could very well end up having some subpoenas issued in the very near-term future. So let's keep that in mind, because they hit Phoenix and they've hit Fulton County, Maricopa, I should say, and Fulton, and Wisconsin. The three states that probably cheated so badly, obviously, that Trump actually did win that election. That proves that the fraud was enough. It's awesome. Washington State, they found a box of election materials that were from prior elections behind a dumpster. There's some big stupid investigation going into it. I don't know. Nothing big solid came out of that story, but whatever. Maps are moving. Supreme Court ruling turned the 2026 House race into a Republican offensive. They might gain anywhere from 10 to 14 seats, depending. We'll see what continues to happen. But we were supposed to go negative, and everyone was afraid. But again, we're hitting this war, guys, on all foots. Stop listening to the deep state. Stop listening to people that are naysayers, frankly, because we are going to win this. And the only way you win a game is to continue to focus on winning, period. Right? If you're focused on losing, you might lose. You don't have to, though. Hochul's target for multimillionaires that have secondary property sitting in New York. She's definitely going after him, expecting to make $500 million to help close her $5.4 billion budget deficit, which to me feels like it's about, 10% of the money she needs. So, okay. The pied-à-terre tax that they're trying to do, French on foot or French on the ground or foot on the ground or whatever the frick it is. This is going to make a bunch of people leave, a bunch of people sell their homes. They'll probably take a loss on the property because of the tax value that would happen year after year. And they're just like, well, yeah, it'd just be better to take a $20 million. And see, here's the funny thing. If you sell a property for significantly less money and the next person that comes in buys it, that's their tax base. It's based off the purchase. It's based off of, they might have said it was worth such and such, but they want it out. So they sold it $10 million below market price. That hurts the taxability of that property as well. New York, you made such a huge mistake. All you blue cities have made a huge mistake. You guys you can continue to blame Trump for everything. That's fine. That's what you're going to do. I know that. What's happening in Minnesota is Trump's fault. What's happening here in California is Trump's fault. What's happening in New York's Trump's fault. I got you. I hear you. I hear it all the time. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's zero data to back up what the hell they're saying, but that's okay. So the Minnesota Board of Pardons, including Tim Walz, I think it's because he could probably, pardon somebody, but he's unanimously voted to pardon this. I don't know how to pronounce anything that starts with an X, and I refuse to. It sounds like it's a Z, but then I'm just like, why don't you put a fucking Z there then? Why has it got to be an X? Ixeya? I don't know how to say it. Ixeya Sunethun Chandi. Because he's totally was born here. He's an illegal immigrant from Laos. Multiple arrests, convictions, yada, yada, yada. Let's see. He's been convicted of assault, 2 felony counts of aggravated assault, and a weapon issue in 2008, and loss of his immigration status. So this is a pardon that gives this guy, I guess, he's like can just live freely now. I mean, it's literally trying to help people that are probably gangbangers. Probably. Think about it. Far left Charlotte Mayor V. Lyles abruptly resigns just months. This is the Charlotte, North Carolina. She just won re-election. She's literally stepping down June 30th. Says wants to spend more time with family. Obviously, a scandal's coming out about her. North Carolina is in a lot of hurt right now, and maybe it's going to be tied to elections. Who knows? But she's getting out of the way, it sounds like. Uh-oh. Illegal sentence to life for deadly firebombing. The guy that, the Egyptian dude that killed one person, took 3 weeks for her to die, but she ended up dying and then burned a whole bunch, injured a whole bunch, like 22 or something crazy like that. He's got life in prison. So, let's see, he's in Colorado, so he'll probably get out in like 3 years. there. But but he thought hard about the things he's done while he was in there. 18-year-old arrested for Oklahoma campaign campground bloodbath. You guys remember the shooting that happened at the lake, Lake Okeechobee? It's not Lake Okeechobee. I'm just saying that because that's a funny lake. I think was that the one in Florida? I think it is, right? Okeechobee. Funny ass lake name. I forget the lake. It's up here, and I don't care that much. Spring Creek Park Campground at Lake Arcadia. That's what it is in Oklahoma City, or close to it. Turned himself in? Turned himself in and was arrested in connection. No shit, he turned himself in. Dude, wow. He injured 22 people, killed one person. Wow. I didn't know he turned himself in. I thought they got him. Whatever the case is, he's in custody. He's Oklahoma. They probably throw a brick at his head. That might be bad for him. California insurance regulators say State Farm mishandled wildfire claims. California's run all the insurance companies out of the state. Now, I'm not giving the insurance companies any leniency because I think they all are horrible as well. I think insurance is one of the biggest fraud Ponzi schemes that exists on this planet. And here is an example of how that is the case. Because 12,000 structures needed to be replaced, and State Farm's like, no, yeah, we're not doing that. Realize how expensive that would be? Oh, that's silly. It would pay that kind of money. No, we'll take the lawsuits, because the lawsuits are going to be pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. Then replacing a house at today's costs, at today's labor, at today's union rate. And that was maybe that was some of what LA was going for. They're like, we want the money for all that rebuilding effort, right? That's going to, all this beautiful expense. And these guys are like, yeah, no, sue us. See what happens. So I'm very curious. I mean, this is horrific. This is evil. This is all those things. Again, I'm curious to see how this one plays out because this is, it's not good in any way, shape, or form. Phone call with Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen. Trump gave the EU until July 4th to fulfill historic trade deal and cut tariffs to zero or face high-level U.S. tariffs. Now, oddly, federal trade court has struck down Trump's backup tariff plan based off of a small business filed a lawsuit in international trade court challenging Trump's global tariff, and they stayed Trump's tariffs for this one small business. I don't know if we got the judge's name easy to find in here. They don't jump it out as much as some other people. There it is. Judge Richard Eaton. Eating something, that's for sure. Eating someone's butthole, probably. That's what he's probably doing. Jerome Powell, he's apparently trying to stick around even after he's gone. He obviously doesn't want to give up control. Deep State's freaking out because he and what he wanted to do and how they want to try to make it impossible for Trump is not going to continue to happen. Trump will get rid of him, and that'll be a fun Supreme Court case. It's coming. That battle will be here, and it'll be enjoyable to watch. U.S. economy revives, double the expected job growth in April. The government's not growing. In fact, it's shrinking, so that's helping remove numbers, which is going to hurt Trump. But the private sector has actually gained so much that it's actually making up for some of that. And again, a lot of the job growth revisions have been largely to do with the fact that the government shrunk. That's what the Biden administration and many other blue administrations would do. If the job numbers sucked, they'd create more jobs in government. More bureaucracy, more red tape, more jobs. And then we got to pay for it. And Congress always loved making government bigger. Loved it. Because that's money back in their pockets, right? The game's been going on for a long time, guys. It's not like we just figured it. It's like, well, we are just figuring it out, essentially. We're finally waking up. It's been going on forever. Price of oil's gone up a teeny tiny bit. It was down a lot, and then this little altercation happened. And so now there's no one knows for sure what's, oh, no, we don't know. Is Iran in charge? Is U.S. in charge? Is Iran in charge? Meh, meh, meh. All right, whatever. Crude oil sitting at 95. It's under 100. That's pretty significant. So silver and gold still on the rise slightly. Normally they go negative. See what's up with crypto. I didn't look at it at all. So again, a lot of things happening in the world. Look, if you're in a 401k or an IRA, I'm telling you, this is not a place to just sit around. Yeah, the stock markets are as high as they've ever been. That's fantastic, almost. Dow's up, but I think NASDAQ's doing very well. It was, there it is. No, S&P was the one I think he was pointing out. It was like at 74 or whatever. Definitely, the numbers are high. The inflation's still there. That's the problem. You protect your buying power with precious metals. That's the thing. Whatever precious metals you can get with the dollars right now, the Federal Reserve notes right now, whatever that would buy you typically, you'll be able to continue to buy that in the near future, in the distant future. This back in 1915 would allow me the purchase of a handmade tailored suit. Today, it will allow me to purchase a handmade tailored suit. It's the same one coin. Protects my buying power. It's worth many, many more Federal Reserve notes. Back then it was 30. Now it's 4,733. Back then, Federal Reserve note, one of them, I could buy 30 full-size Hershey chocolate bars. Today, one Federal Reserve note, and I can buy a discount bag of gummy worms. That value of your money is continuing to go down. 2% inflation, meaning you lose 2% of your value every single year, is nominal. That's good. The system is built to do that. Inflation's going to get higher for other reasons. Trump's doing everything to minimize the pain to us, and he's doing a wonderful job. The world is going to have a shit day. That will affect our stock market as well, because we sell stuff all over the world. Be prepared. Protect your assets. Protect your wealth. You've spent years acquiring it. You don't want to give it up. That's for sure. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system. Move the money, tax-free, penalty-free. Again, 401k, IRA. Move the money, tax-free, penalty-free. Move it sideways. You're not allowed to touch it. If you do, you get taxed and penalized. It sucks. That's why you do it tax-free, penalty-free. They're going to buy physical precious metals that are yours. They keep that away from you, too. They can't send those to you because, again, that's paying you out. But you have them. They can be paid out. Again, if you do it before the time, you're going to get penalized and taxed. There might be ways to discuss that when the time is right, but own the physical precious while you can. Liquidate those assets to do that while you can, and you should see some wonderful rewards down the road. The expectation of silver hitting pretty huge numbers, 280, 300, 400. I mean, 400 is what we're hearing, but we'll see. I believe it. Gold, I don't know what that means for gold. Again, gold's the true nature of inflation. Like whatever's happening to gold, that's the value of the dollar just going up or down. Like the price of gold's going up, that means the value of the dollar is going down. It means your stock portfolio is going down in value. Even if it went up a little bit in dollar amount, it's actually going down in value and what you can buy with it. Protect your wealth. DRSlikesgold.com, DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of that system while you can. And you should be better off for it, that's for sure. A lot of people talk to me, they're like stoked they did it, that's for sure. Trump talking about the hantavirus, which everyone's trying to be freaked out about. Maybe you should be, I don't know. I don't think so, but.
Can I ask you about the hantavirus? Have you been briefed on the virus?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us what you learned in these briefings?
Well, I think you're going to be told everything, and you already have. It's very much, we hope, under control. It was the chip, and I think we're going to make a full report about it tomorrow. We have a lot of people, a lot of great people studying it. It should be fine. We hope.
Should Americans be concerned that it's going to spread? And how are you
I
hoping
hope not.
to get those
I hope not. We'll do the
home?
best we can, yeah.
To get the Americans that are on the
Go ahead.
home.
Yeah, the best we can. Like, stop asking stupid questions and pushing it further than it needs to be pushed. Like, we don't need to panic. Notice how he really doesn't create the panic. Joe Biden would have, right? Any of the deep state would have. Fauci would have. All those guys would have stood up there and pushed the fear. Not Trump. We're looking at it. They got us a copy of this stuff. We're looking at it in our own labs. We didn't let Fauci touch it, so we're good. Nigel Farage is kicking the crap out of England's other two-party system right now. He's beating it down. It doesn't look like Starmer's going to step down, even though he just got a lashing, lost a whole lot of support in their stupid parliament. That's how they do it. I don't know. I don't mean stupid, but British people are great, but I don't like your government at all. I think it's weird. But again, they probably don't like ours, right? It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, Lord. Wow. That's just so not okay to look at. Iran, we got some stuff going on here. I'll tell you that. Donald Trump's talking about Marco Rubio had a little discussion with the Pope, and here's what he was asking him to chit chat with him about.
Ask him to pass on a message.
I spoke to him. I just said, tell the Pope, very nicely, very respectfully, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. So when he comes to their defense, also tell the Pope that Iran killed 42,000 innocent protesters who didn't have guns, who didn't have weapons. Tell that to the Pope.
I mean, strong kind of words. I like it. Tell the Pope. UAE slips a hidden oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. They've actually managed to slip, I think, a few of them, like 4 or something, through the straits this month already? Or no, they're saying April. Yeah, in April, sorry. Already in May. Holy crap. Wow. Anyways, yeah, so they're doing the same thing. They're all turning the transponders off. Some of them get through, some don't. China actually had one of their tankers attacked. Whoops. China's also flip-flopping. Remember, the sanctions have happened, and death sentence been pretty gnarly and hardcore. And he put these sanctions on against China. See, here's the thing. We don't need China at all. We have our own stuff happening right now, and China knows that. So their bargaining power against us is minimal. Their rare earths was one of the small things they really had, but we've got control over oil now, chips, and other stuff. So yeah, China's in a tough place. They basically are telling their companies internally that we're dealing with Iran's oil to stop, that we're not supporting you. Don't ask for loans. Don't try to get that money from us. We can't support this basically right now. This was huge. Now, again, it's temporary because it's before Trump's going to go out there, but still. Supposedly the French aircraft carrier has managed to get through the Suez Canal and didn't sink somehow, so that's fantastic. Good job, French people. And I don't think their aircraft carrier is nearly as beleaguered as our good British friends that I don't think have an aircraft carrier that literally sails anymore. That's okay, though. France is doing it for you. Oh, the irony. It's so funny. And just the fact that this is who's coming to the rescue. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Trump's probably got just rolling his eyes, whatever. I don't know if I've ever seen him do that on camera. It'd be funny. Iranian president says Iran's willing to prove peaceful nature of nuclear program. Yet don't trust anything that comes out of Iran. Being at 60%, it's very easy to get to the next level of enrichment, which is nuclear grade. It's very easy. And we've seen all sorts of things that would suggest, I think there was some information I found that was suggesting that we've seen a hardening, if you will, of defenses around an area, or at least a moving of equipment. It seemed like that was over towards that Natanz plant or whatever that went, one of the nuclear sites that we hit with the stealth bombers, that original attack. So they're doing something. And we see it. We know. We're leaking it out. Israel airstrikes southern Lebanon, killed at least 5 so far. We'll see if that continues to get nasty. Massive forest fire in the Chernobyl area because of a drone that Ukraine shot, and it somehow caught fire to the forest, so now there's a threat to Chernobyl. Disney cruise ship staffers, they're saying there's 28 predators that were actually arrested in that. I thought it was immigration. I mean, they used immigration to do it, but apparently these people were all predators, child predators, like child porn and stuff like that. I did not catch that on the original story, so I wanted to mention that again because that is, wow. GameStop CEO, his account's been nuked by eBay for his little stunt on the stock price thing, basically saying they were offering up a buyout, and eBay got kind of pissy about that, so they literally, the CEO of GameStop's eBay account's no longer able to work. That's kind of funny. This was shared by Jordan Sather, more just to give Ben Swan crap for sharing Corey Goode. I just wanted to point out, Corey Goode is directly tied in with David Wilcock. Corey Goode is everybody that knew Corey Goode or knew David Wilcock very, very well. Corey Goode's big, red, giant-ass red flag that caused so much demise. Lawsuits. Cliff High was involved in a lawsuit against him. Corey Goode, anybody that tried to say 20 and back, he would sue. So he was a mess. The main reason I bring it up is because he looks horrible. And I thought that was Interesting. Karma's a funny little bitch, isn't it? There, Corey. Bastard. Anywho, let's get into the whoop. Let's see what we got. Why is there nothing on that site? That's unfortunate. I wonder if something was supposed to get posted there, and I failed. Tim Burchett believes PSYOPs are being run on the American people. I think it's a good place to start. Check it out.
Imagine, but the underwater thing was I was getting briefed by it was a former admiral came into my office, and Joe, it was a very friendly conversation, and I'm always a little couched I hold back a little bit because I think there's a PSYOP going on with some of these departments. I was briefed by one of our alphabet agencies not long ago, and the final thing was somebody said, well, why don't we got more information? He says, we just don't have the funding for that, Congressman. And, and I know they're reading the polling data, and they're saying, well, let's shake loose the money tree for us, and that's part of it, too. And I warn people about that. But
yeah, still, this is a weird topic, and how much of it is for that reason? How much of it's to get money to counter this? There is a PSYOP-y side to this, guys. There is. So just, again, nothing is simple. Now, I want to point this out because this is important. I think this speaks to something larger, and we'll get there in a second. Gemini 7 astronauts. Wait, was that? Again, it makes me want to think of what's VII? Gemini Vi? What would Ilhan Omar say with that? Right? What'd she do that? Anyway, Gemini astronauts, Gemini 7 specifically, astronauts spotted vehicle in space more than 60 years ago. Something was already there. Now, a lot of people say we didn't go to the moon because we faked landings, because we had the largest theater and they created all sorts of fakeries. Yes, we were at war with Russia. In that regard, they got Sputnik in. And by the way, hand radio towers around the world were able to track Sputnik, by the way, because it had a distinct beep. It was done on a frequency that people could pick up. And around the world, ham radio towers could pick up when it was above and overhead, which does demonstrate some stuff too, by the way. Now, the astronauts... People say that we didn't go there because of the fakery. I say that's not true. We went there, maybe not on the Apollo missions, maybe there was some others, but we didn't. We had to fake a lot of stuff because of what we saw along the way. And I understand that since those days and where we are now, that we were allowed to go back to the moon. And that's why we've been taking advantage of it. And Earth didn't want to let China kind of take advantage of it further than we could first, right? So we're already there, I think. But whatever the case is, we're going to find out a lot of crazy stuff as time progresses. So they saw stuff already way back then. Now, if you have ever read the Naked Bible, Mario Bellino and some guy writes the book and he's co-writing it with him. If you go back that far in some of the original Hebrew texts, you'll understand that we had UFOs back then. They had some very cool names for those things, and we've translated them kind of incorrectly, I believe. But, yeah, it is what it is. So, mysterious footage captures peculiar 8-pointed stars, one of the many things they found. I don't know about you guys, but this one, and again, this strikes me as something very legitimate. This is definitely something. But it seems like something that's such a high energy frequency or whatever, that's like the flare just couldn't handle it. Like it's just broke it into segments. But maybe that's what it looks like. Very cool. Very, very cool stuff, right? That's not real. It's not, but we got some other stuff. Of course, this is interesting. This is what there's a lot of discussions, by the way, around one of the craft, anyways, from Roswell having a body still alive. There's all sorts of stories around that. 2 of the bodies were dead, one of them still alive. I find this fascinating that this particular cart has a spring on the front, but not on the back. It's kind of weird. Like why does the front matter? I don't know. Maybe bump, bump, bump. Maybe in the back because you're holding it from there. Who knows? Engineers and their brilliance. But yeah, Pentagon begins releasing new files, so we've heard. This is basically them. Let's see if let's get back to the first. They're not exciting. I don't know if I can make them big. Yeah, I kind of can. So this is one of them. This was what was released. Now we've got other people that are digging through other stuff because this is war.gov/UFO. Oh, it's .gov. One of these looks like a helicopter. Oh, this is the thing, UFO here, and that's a helicopter. So this is some sort of orb. There's a lot of, those look like almost square orbs. Yeah, those look interesting. Right? Drones of some kind, likely. Oh, this is just like that colored picture. That, to me, strikes as a higher dimensional kind of concept. They say if you're from a higher dimension and you were to sort of put yourself into a lower dimension, it would look like a third dimension specifically. It would look like a sphere, is what it would look like. If like a 4D object came into a 3D world, it would look spherical. So yeah, some sort of weird points, and this is, I think, from the moon. So again, they saw all sorts of crazy. I've heard stories about them seeing people along the rim in one place. So there's, it freaked out the astronauts in a lot of cases. I think that's why they killed off some of them. That's probably even why they burned the dude in the capsule, because they knew he'd talk. Who knows? I don't know. Get more budget, slow things down, any number of things. Yeah, so crazy. I don't know. They blacked out some stuff too. I don't know why they blacked out what they blacked out. So again, mostly not real exciting. Kind of disappointed. Again, we've got a little bit more. I'm not done here, so I don't want you guys to feel like, Dan, you cheated us. No, I did not cheat you. I feel like we're got to be close to the end. Yeah, I've already duplicating. Peter Ducey shares some other stuff that he seems to have gotten his hands on, which is cool. Check it out.
White House official left this hard drive on my desk overnight. You can see on it, it says AARO files copy 2 of 3. That is the all domain resolution office copy 2 of 3. This is the first big batch of UFO disclosure ordered by President Trump. Some of the clips and videos on there have popped up different places before. Some of them have not. And we have been going through this all morning and overnight to try to put together some of the best videos so we can all look at this together. This is a world exclusive right here. So let's go to the first clip. Over the skies of the United Arab Emirates in June 2024. An inverted teardrop with a vertically linear trailing mass, as described by the War Department, suspended below. The War Department cannot say for sure what this is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. The next video, over the skies of Iraq, December 2022, moving bottom left to top right of the field of view. All CENTCOM gets from this is an area of contrast. That's what they describe it as. It is officially still listed as an unresolved UAP report. Next video, over the skies of Greece, October 2023. What is described as a small and circular UAP flying near the surface of the ocean towards land. CENTCOM can't tell us what it is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. Within the last 2 minutes, all of these videos have gone live on war.gov/UFO, and a White House official tells Fox First, while past administrations sought to discredit or dissuade the American people, President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency to the public, who can ultimately make up their own minds about the information contained in these files. And there's also a fresh look at some historical records. There's this from a...
What I also find interesting is that this information's also coming out right before Trump's trip to China. Like, we see you. We see you every time you do this. If any of these are actually China. Now, again, some of them I doubt. I don't think everything falls into one category either. I'm like, same with the chemtrails. Like, not everything's the same thing. I think they do them for different reasons. I think there's a few different versions of them even. But, whatever. So we, I don't know, we're being given something. Supposedly some more files are supposed to be coming. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hesitant to get too terribly excited about it, but we'll see what comes. And finally, the world's biggest fusion reactor just hit a milestone. Kinda. It's a company called ITER. It's a French company, and they've managed to make some progress at a very slow pace, at a very high price. and a bunch of startup companies are essentially following in their footsteps and doing it far cheaper and quicker than they are. So this French company is about to be outdone by everyone else. I poo-poo on you. I fought in your general direction, they say. I got a great musical show coming up for any of you that are watching this right when I release it. Got a great show. It's basically Huey Lewis and the Cars. The Cars is kind of what inspired. I got a couple few car songs, few Huey Lewis songs, and then a whole bunch of stuff that just fits that genre like a glove. Like a Michael Jackson glove. One of them kinds of gloves. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys join me. 3 p.m. Pacific, Friday, or 6 Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain Time. And Alaska and Hawaii. I'm sorry. I feel like it's -2 at Alaska. And anywho, I don't know. Hawaii is, I think, 3. I think. We're going to be doing that tonight. It's going to be fun. And I hope you guys join. So, of course, music on Fridays. Tuesday, Thursday, maybe next week, but probably week after. Probably. I want to try to see if I can get some stuff done this weekend. I'm really hoping. We'll see. I've got some stuff already put together, so I think it's going to be a good show. I think I've already got a couple ideas. I'm excited. And I forgot to mention this. I just met the assistant director of ICE for Orange County. Like he works out in my gym, and then I find him and he texts me a message I was like, all right, cool, and had a weird name pop up on there, and it was the exact same name as this chick I know that works at the grocery store. And so I asked the grocery store chick, I go, hey, she's Hispanic, and I'm like, if a guy has your name, do you pronounce it differently? And she's like, huh? And I said, I met this guy, and his name's this, and so do I pronounce it differently? And she goes, is he bald, kind of short? And I'm like, yeah, and kind of buff? And she goes, yeah. And she goes, yeah. I go, yeah. And she goes, that's my husband. I was like, no way. Small world. Literally someone that helped me get my housekeeper, her husband works for ICE. Oh, it is a perfect world, and I love every friggin' second. So I'm going to have him on my show. We're going to talk about some stuff, and he's probably going to become, hopefully, one of my go-tos for information when it comes to what's happening. I'm going to make sure he can get permission from his seniors and whatnot, and maybe he brings his boss in. Whatever the case is, it should be very, very cool, because Orange County, California, and ICE, this is the one conservative bastion at the moment. So stuff is coming, and the Tuesday, Thursday shows are the places where I'd likely get more into those types of topics. So we're going to have a lot of fun on that show. So please be on the lookout. I'll let you know. Trust me. I'll plug the shit out of it before it happens. But I love you guys. We're going to keep fighting the fight. Where we go one, we go all. So I'm the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.